We're not done talking about OG clocks because they were important for another reason. The Wooden Works clocks, even though we could make them cheaply, we couldn't export them very successfully. Once you put a Wooden Works clock on a boat going to England or going anywhere else, that wood was going to swell, and those clocks probably wouldn't work by the time they got to wherever they were going. Brass clocks, on the other hand, easy to export. They're probably going to run fine when they get there. Chauncey Jerome had the idea of trying to export these to England. England clearly had its own very large, important clockmaking industry, but they weren't very good at making inexpensive clocks. You could get great clocks in England, but they were expensive, and a lot of lower and middle class people couldn't afford clocks. Chauncey Jerome saw that as a business opportunity, and he began exporting OG clocks to England. England at the time was worried, as other countries are and have been, about dumping exports hurting domestic industries, and obviously the English clockmakers weren't happy about imported OG clocks. The way the English dealt with this was by seizing the imports, assuming that they were being dumped and that they were being sold under the cost of production. So Chauncey Jerome sent a boatload over, claimed that the clocks, that he was going to sell them for $3. The English said, you know, you must be selling these for under cost. We're seizing the whole load and paying you the $3 each. It cost him about $2 each to make them, so he was happy. Sent another boatload, that got seized. He made $1 a clock. By the third boatload, the English figured out that maybe he wasn't dumping these, and that explains why in England, even today, there's a lot of OG clocks. If you go to boot fairs and antique shows in England, you'll likely see a number of American OG clocks. There are also a number of books on this subject as well, but here are these two are really a book by Chauncey Jerome about his years as a clockmaker, and a book about Chauncey Jerome by Chris Bailey, who is one of the country's experts really on American clocks, who's the curator down in a museum in Connecticut that we'll talk about later.